What's going on, everyone? It's Token back with a brand new VGC Climbing the Ladder. This week we still are doing our QR special week as we are using these QR teams, really just trying to utilize this feature, as I do think it's a really cool feature, as there's a lot of interesting teams, and then there's also pretty good teams that you can use with the QR feature. So definitely something to check out if you haven't already. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. Definitely appreciate the support. Today though, we are switching up the team. We did have lots of fun with James Baek Dragonite type rain team that had like Thunder Dragonite and all that. Definitely go check out those episodes if you haven't. Really cool team, and I really enjoyed last episode. Really fun. Hypnosis is absolutely broken. But yeah, today though we are going to be using a different team. I do not recall the user whose team this was. Sorry, I have the worst memory ever. But shoutouts to the user for putting the team on here. Scarf Garchomp sold me on this team. I was like, alright, at least have Scarf Garchomp. So I think we'll be at least decent because I love me some Scarf Garchomp. So this team is going to be Garchomp, Celesteela, Tapu Fini, Aerodactyl, Anchor or Delmise, and then Salazzle. So a few Pokemon I haven't used yet. I've never used Aerodactyl in this format yet. Kind of not my type of Pokemon, but I definitely want to give it a try. It seems to be doing alright for itself right now. And I haven't tried Salazzle either, and I haven't tried Delmise on the channel. I actually made a really cool Delmise, a Solvest set, which this one is, way earlier in the format. And the only reason I didn't put it on the channel is because for some reason I got real memey when I was using Delmise, and the teams just weren't really there synergy-wise, so I decided to not use Delmise on the channel. But we will be using it now, and we'll see how this team does this. So it is going to be a Scarf Garchomp, Leftovers, fully specially offensive. Well, I don't know about fully specially, but 3 special moves. Celesteela, don't know the exact EV spread. You don't know the EV spreads when you scan a QR team. Probably the only flaw I have with the QR scans is that you don't really know the EVs unless they have like some YouTube channel or some website that's linked in their little QR description where you can go check it out. James Baek had his channel, so that's the only reason I knew some of the EVs for that team. But anyways, yeah, 3 special moves, Celesteela, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, and what is that last one? Air Slash. I'm not a big fan, but we'll see how it works. Then Specs Tapu Fini, and then Standard Aerodactyl, Assault Vest Delmise, and then I think a Poisium Z Salazzle. So let's see how this works out for us. We will jump right onto the ladder, and let's see how this goes. Let's see if we can get some wins, because it's what I'm trying to do. I'm sorry, I can't sing. Alright, we get a 1534 opponent from Washington named Neo. Let's see what Team Neo has. Neo is going to have a team of... what is that Pokemon's name? Mimikyu, Garchomp, Porygon2, Araquanid, Tapu Lele, and Celesteela. So a pretty scary team. Let's see what we want to do in this one. Alright, so Porygon2 and Mimikyu kind of scare me with Trick Room, so I'm going to lead Aerodactyl just so I can pick both of those two up. Just pick them right on up. Yeah, I'll actually lead that with Fini, so we can also get off lots of damage too. I think Celesteela has a pretty good matchup, especially if Trick Room does go up. And last but not least, Salazzle's really fast. Garchomp doesn't have the best matchup here. Do we go Anchor? Do we go Anchor? Yeah, we'll go. Oops. We'll go Anchor as our last Pokemon, so let's see how this one goes for us. But yeah, I'm a little scared of Trick Room, so I want to lead Aerodactyl. I'm pairing it with Specs Fini so that we can dish out a lot of damage while we have the opposing Pokemon airdropped or whatever we decide to go for. And then Celesteela has a pretty good matchup. There's a Tapu Lele, there's another Celesteela. We have Flamethrower, so if they don't have Flamethrower, we win that mirror. And just will probably do pretty well in Trick Room. Also can get super effective damage off on Mimikyu. And last but not least, Delmise just has a better matchup than another 2 Pokemon. Not the best, but a better matchup. Sorry, I thought my phone went off. Sorry. I got a lot of important texts usually, so sorry if I check my phone during this episode. I know it's a little unprofessional, but I do apologize. Some important texts I have been getting as of late. Especially because I'm looking for a second job, so hoping to hear back from some interviewers. My opponent actually goes with the, they go with Mimikyu, Porygon2s, we go with Tapu Lele, and... Huh. Alright, so my opponent opts for double... Awesome. So my opponent opts for the double Trick Room setters. Pretty interesting. I decided to just Sky Drop the Mimikyu, so whatever it wanted to do, and now help us break its disguise too. So I decided to go for that. Our Aerodactyl ends up avoiding the Thunderbolt because of that, so that looks like a decent play. We'll actually get the Muddy Water on both Pokemon now this time. Didn't do much damage at all to Porygon2, which is a little unfortunate, but hopefully we can get a accuracy drop on Porygon2. It's kind of what I'm hoping for here. It did show that it does have the Thunderbolt coverage for R2. Not much of anything I can do about that right now. We were Sky Dropped in the air. I can't really avoid that attack as of right now. That will break the disguise on Mimikyu, which is what I was going for. We'll see if Mimikyu's thinking about setting up Trick Room. It actually just goes for a Play Rough on Aerodactyl, so my opponent seems very keen on taking out Aerodactyl. Likely a Play Rough and another Thunderbolt. That is fine. This will allow us to get right into Celesteela if they do take out Aerodactyl, so that is fine. Do get that Muddy Water off, and it does solid damage to, yeah, it does solid damage to my opponent's Mimikyu, which is great. Alright, we lose Aerodactyl, that's fine. That is fine. We'll go right into Celesteela. And we will just Flash Cannon and Muddy Water. Kind of debated taking out Tapu Fini, mainly to also not take like maybe 2 attacks from Mimikyu and Porygon2, and then also because I don't want to be locked into Muddy Water if my opponent brings in a Garchomp maybe after this. So not the best. My opponent does Celesteela, that's fine. We can switch out and recycle that just so we can go for Protect. It's not the worst. Missing both Pokemon is actually terrible though, and that is why I still targeted the Mimikyu, even though Muddy Water would have taken it out. I targeted because of the fact that Muddy Water does have that shoddy accuracy, and that just cost us not to hit either Pokemon. We'll likely take a Thunderbolt on one of our 2 Pokemon. We'll see which one it's targeted on. Thunderbolt probably coming on Finny, and it is on Finny. That is fine. We take that decently okay. Not the best, but okay. And we can get Delmise right in here if Garchomp's the Pokemon, or we'll see exactly what we're looking at. My opponent actually has their Celesteela come in. I don't know how much speed is on this Celesteela, so that's an issue with the Mira. But either way though, I think we got, let me double check that. Did we get a special attack boost, or what did we get? Yeah, we just got our special attack boost. So I'm just going to Flamethrower my opponent's. Just going to Flamethrower my opponent's Celesteela, hoping that we outspeed their Celesteela, and going to switch out Tapu Fini just in case for like the final Pokemon, so we can maybe have a better matchup. Looks like we are faster. We do have our special attack raise. Can that fully take out? It will not completely take out our opponent's Celesteela. They also are carrying Flamethrower. We'll see how much damage this does. Probably a double target, honestly, on our Celesteela. We'll definitely live that either way, though. We'll see, though. Yeah, it is a double target. So switching out Finny didn't seem like the most optimal play. We can still play around this though. Not in a poor position at all. We can play around this. The only issue here I see is the fact that I can't protect them. My opponent will likely protect their own Celesteela. That's a little bit of an issue, but we'll manage. So I'm actually just going to Power Whip Porygon2. Yeah, my opponent. I should have definitely targeted a Porygon. I think there's a chance we can still live this Thunderbolt maybe. There's a chance. We'll see though. I don't know how much damage that last one did, and no, we do not live that. Oh, because of a crit. I think the crit maybe mattered. We'll see. I'm not sure though. Do go for a Power Whip at least though. Yeah, that is definitely my bad for not targeting the that Porygon2. That was not the brightest play, but we're not in the worst position, especially if my opponent doesn't like have like a Garchomp or something. Honestly, it's just going to be interesting depending on what exactly they have in the back. A lot of things can be an issue, so we'll just have to see. But if we're able to take out both of these with a Muddy Water, hopefully praying I don't miss Muddy Water on Porygon2. I still feel like it's necessary to go for it just so we get the necessary damage off on the opposing Celesteela. So we'll see how much damage this does. We'll just have to see, and we'll have to see if we actually hit the Muddy Water. Let's fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's hope we hit the Muddy Water. Yes, so we hit Muddy Water on both targets. That is great news to myself. We are locked into that though, so hopefully it's not the worst matchup on whatever my opponent brings in. We'll take out Porygon2, and we get to actually drop on Celesteela, so we'll see if it's faster. Usually Flamethrower Celesteela is pretty fast, so we'll be faster than our Delmines, but we will take it out here. But that does mean that whatever Pokemon comes in, I do think it will, even though it's just one Pokemon. I'm not sure if they actually have to choose the exact side that Celesteela was on to benefit from that Leech Seed, considering Leech Seed usually, and I thought Finny would possibly be the last Pokemon, which is pretty interesting. I'm not sure if Finny needed to come back in on the exact same side that Celesteela was on to benefit from that Leech Seed or not. So we'll honestly get some good intel on whether or not it needed to do that or not. Finny can definitely have the Psychium Z, which is a issue for our Delmines. We are AV though, I'm not sure we'll live that, so we'll just have to see. It looks like it doesn't have the Psychium Z. See how much damage this does to Delmines. Woo! Oh, a crit! You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You absolutely have to be kidding me. Alright, we at least hit the Muddy Water. Oh my god. Well, I deserve an accuracy drop, and I don't get an accuracy drop. Alright, well, if Finny has the Psychium Z, I mean, if Lele has the Psychium Z, we definitely lost this game, so we lost if it has it. Looks like it doesn't have it. We'll see if this crits us or how much damage this does. We are specs, we're not really bulky, and that does take us out, so we're going to lose on a crit on our Delmas. Oh, man. Oh, well, I'm a little salty about that. That was really unfortunate. That was a really unfortunate crit. And we were AV, so I couldn't protect Delmines. I honestly, I needed to either get that accuracy drop after the crit happened, or I needed to just not get crit. So those very timely crits for my opponent are the ones that sting the most, because it's like, please just crit when it doesn't really matter. That's when I would prefer RNG, but you know RNG likes to creep up at the worst time. So we'll just get another game and see how that goes. But yeah, RNG, I hate you sometimes. Absolutely hate you. You are not a friend of mine. So I feel like I played decently well with the team. The biggest mistake I made in that game was just the fact that I didn't. I even called the play that my opponent was going to go for with them protecting Celesteela and then just Thunderbolting the Celesteela to take it out. I'd say that was the biggest misplay I made during that game. But other than that, I think we still outplayed I outplayed my opponent, and we deserve to get that win. But we'll move on though, and we'll just try to get another game and bounce back. So far so good though. That was my first game playing with this team. I didn't even try to use it prior. I thought the team would do good, and it seems like the team's pretty good, so I enjoy it. Do get another opponent. I didn't see their rating. Their name is going to be Harambe, and they are going to have a team with Alolan Raichu, Tapu, Koko, Garchomp, Kartana. What are you? Gigalith and Gyarados. And pretty interesting. They do have Alolan Raichu with Tapu Koko, so that's a speedy duo there. Lots of fast, threatening Pokemon in Garchomp and Kartana, but then a Gigalith to shore up the Trick Room matchup, and a Gyarados. So, what do we want to do here? I think Scarf Garchomp's a beautiful lead. It's actually pretty good against everything that isn't the opposing Garchomp, which kind of makes me want to lead Finny next to it, just in case my opponent does lead their Garchomp. That'd give us a surefire answer to it. What exactly is this moveset? Does it have Fake Out? It does have Fake Out, but I do not want to Earthquake into our own Pokemon. So do I just go Delmise next to it? Do I just go Deli? Do I just go Celesteela? Yeah, I'll actually just go Celesteela. Garchomp can't do much to Celesteela, and Finny in the back for everything that isn't Tapu Koko and Alolan Raichu, and for the three other Pokemon that aren't Koko, Raichu, and Kartana, and last but not least, we'll bring Delmise. We'll bring the Anchor again. Alright, so this game we bounce back. Challenged by Pokemon Trainer Harambe. Interesting name choice. They do go with their double electric lead. That does mean that Scarf Garchomp will outspeed both of these two and be able to get off a powerful attack, which looks great in my opinion. Oh, well, we just do have to deal with the... I'm actually going to... Oh, God. Well, okay, we have to deal with just Fake Out. And a Dazzling Gleam won't take me out. The only issue here I can see is if this is Farium Z Tapu Koko. That would actually be a huge issue because that would allow my opponent to take us out if they Fake Out Garchomp. So we'll see exactly what they go for. They do Fake Out Garchomp on probably on top of a Dazzling Gleam probably, but I didn't want to switch out Garchomp here. So we'll see if this is Farium Z Koko. It is not Farium Z Koko. It is going to go for that Thunderbolt on Celesteela. That will take us out. That will take us out. So I probably should have just protected Celesteela. That would have been a much smarter play. I do have to go into Delmise. We have 2 Pokemon that can't protect themselves, and I don't want Finny taking out EQ damage if it doesn't have to. So yeah, pretty poor play on my part not protecting Celesteela. I was so certain that a Dazzling Gleam or a Farium Z, that Twinkle Tackle, I was very certain on that, and looks like it is not what we will be having to deal with. So that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure which slot to Anchor Shot. We'll see though if my opponent switches out either. They do switch out Raichu. Pretty interesting. Kartana will be stuck in now though because of that. Oh, my opponent actually switches out both of their 2 Pokemon, and they go into Garchomp. So I don't think opposing Garchomp will be able to take 2 EQs. So unless my opponent's also Scarf. And nope, it actually will be able to. But we did Anchor Shot that slot, which is actually great. So now Garchomp has to stay in, and we will be able to EQ that again. And I kind of predict Finny will... Finny's either going to target Garchomp with an attack to try to knock its health down a tad bit, so maybe it's a little bit more manageable to deal with. But I want to switch out Delmise. I don't want to lose Delmise here. I'll actually just let my Finny take an EQ. Very, definitely not optimal, but I don't want Kartana to get any Beast Boost or anything off of Delmise, so I'll actually switch in Finny here. As my opponent protects their own Garchomp, so a pretty smart play on their part. Kartana goes for Night Slash. And definitely targeted on Delmise. That's good though, that we got a not very effective move considering that Finny's also going to have to take this EQ. So this is going to do good damage to Finny. Doesn't bring it into the yellow though, so that's fine. Or that's pretty much just good. So now we'll likely take out both of these 2 Pokemon, as I will be switching back into Delmise, so I'm not EQing into our Finny again. So the one and only issue I see now, for the late game or the future game is a Fake Out again and a possible Dazzling Gleam. I do think we can kind of wrap this one up though. Like I said, Scarf Garchomp's just so strong, and you can see right now how much pressure it's putting on my opponent's team, as he's just struggling to be able to deal with it. So we come back in with Delmise. Kartana goes for the Night Slash. Is that a prediction I see? No, it is going to be on our Garchomp. So that reveals that Kartana is also Scarf, which is pretty interesting. So now the Fake Out Dazzling Gleam is actually really scary because we are in Dazzling Gleam range. But I think all I need to do though is just switch out Garchomp on this. Once Tapu Koko and Alolan Raichu come back in, I just need to switch in Garchomp so that we can dodge the Fake Out, and we can actually deal with these two Pokemon. So I do think Scarf Garchomp's just gonna single-handedly win this game, and that's why I said I was willing to use this team with no practice with it, because Scarf Garchomp is I'm all about it. I love me some Scarf Garchomp. Alright, so yeah, like I said, we will switch right into Tapu Fini just to dodge the Fake Out, and so we don't Fake Out Dazzling Gleam, you know. So we're doing that, and then we'll go for a Shadow Claw. We'll see if we don't get targeted on our Anchor or Delmise, and so that we can maybe take out a Lone Raichu with a Shadow Claw. It's very frail, so we'll take it out if we don't get taken out. So the Fake Out comes out. It does come out on Finny, and likely a Dazzling Gleam is next. No, my opponent had... Yes, my opponent had the Fairy Z. See, this is why I was concerned and why I didn't protect Celesteela. Okay, now I feel better about my play. I feel much better about my play because of the fact that I knew that people know about Scarf Garchomp, and this is the one niche that the team archetype of Alolan Raichu and Tapu Koko can do to stop a Scarf Garchomp, and the fact that they can fake it out and then they can go for the Fairy Z, because Dazzling Gleam won't do enough to any form of Garchomp. It won't do enough damage to take it out, and then Garchomp the following turn would outspeed this duo of fast electric types and take them both out. So that is the niche. You run Fairy Z, Tapu Koko along with Fake Out so that you can take it out, kind of catch your opponent off guard. I was very concerned of that though, and that is why I decided to still attack with Celesteela, just because of the fact that I thought my opponent would go for that initially, and I still want to get damage off on Koko. So that is why I did that. Thankfully, my opponent didn't go for that the first turn. Thankfully, they didn't go for that turn 1. Because we would have just straight up lost Garchomp, and Garchomp just did all the work in this game. Single-handedly put the team on its back. Thank you, Garchomp. You are a beast when you have a Scarf. So GG's to our opponent. But yeah, if we would have lost Garchomp, we probably would have lost that game. Finny kind of had no business being in that game. My opponent brought all 3 threats that threatened Finny very heavily, so kind of a poor bring on my part, but I was kind of looking at the rest of their team also and thinking that they might bring stuff like Gyarados and also, what was the other one? Gyarados and, why can I not think of that other Pokemon? Oh, Gyarados and Gigalith, and I wanted a halfway decent matchup against those 2 Pokemon, so that's why I did bring Finny, but it honestly had no business being in that matchup considering what my opponent brought. Thank you guys so much for tuning in into today's episode of Climbing the Ladder. If you did enjoy yourself, I really enjoyed using this team. If you did enjoy yourself, if you enjoyed watching my Salt as that crit costed us that first game, definitely hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support in your viewership either way. I'm going to get the heck out of here, guys. I'll see you in the next Climbing the Ladder episode. For now, though, you guys have a great day.